agents unite from all over the globe to handle a situation that can't be handled by men? Let's see how this turns out. This is our review of the 355. Here, so for anyone who does not know anything about this movie, a brief synopsis is CIA agent Mace Brown joins forces with a rival German agent, a cutting-edge computer specialist, and a Colombian psychologist when a top-secret weapon falls into the hands of a group of mercenaries. Together, the four women embark on a breakneck mission to save the world while staying one step ahead of a mysterious figure who's tracking their every move. Oh man, that intro sounds so much better than what we're about to talk about in this movie. So, Jason, the Duke of all nerds, I bequeath this throne for you and let you start this off. Tell us about the 355.
Me and my kid went to go see this, and my kid's 13, and he was like, I don't understand this movie at all. And I was like, neither do I, son, and I'm a grown-ass man. All right. I'm gonna try to avoid some spoilers for anybody but like pretty much this is a paint by numbers movie. Like everything you think is going to happen is going to happen. The twist villain at the midway point is obvious who it is. But there's just some and you know these action movies, there's always like some sort of MacGuffin that is just basically magic and does a thing that you know doesn't really not even remotely possible in real life. This MacGuffin in this one is this internet, super thing that can cause airplanes to fall out the sky or blow up in the sky. And it's like, that's not how the internet works. Like anybody should know that we use the internet every day. We should know that's not how the internet works. That you can just.
I didn't know that's how the internet didn't work. I thought the internet.
That's how the internet works.
I thought we had to turn off our cell phones for that reason because the plane.
Because it might just explode. But the characters in this, I didn't really. I mean, I kept trying to think like if this was like a movie with just dudes in it, like would it be any better? And it's like no, it's still like run of the mill. And the fact that it has a leading cast of female stars is not the reason why this is bad. The reason why it's bad is because it's half baked, half cooked. The action is handy cam shot up to hell that you can't see what's going on, and pretty much the only character I really kind of like cared about. By cared, I mean I didn't care because like they're the only one that actually had any sort of backstory was the German woman, and like that's because like they thought like because of her dad, like they thought she was always like could be a turncoat or whatever. And it was like, that's kind of dumb, but at least she has like a motivation for like not wanting to be like in a team of people because everybody doesn't trust her anyway. Mm-hmm. But like the reason why they came together was so contrived. The Asian chick at the end was not actually in the movie. She was completely green screened in. Like they just added her in. And like,
are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Like if you go back and see her shot there, she's never in the same scene same shot with another character. And if she is, you can tell she's obviously composited into the movie.
Oh my god! I was wondering why. No, I'll let you finish.
It looks so weird. It looks so, and I'm like, dude, she's not in this movie. Like, when there would be shots where you're like, why are they shooting like this? Why are they doing like a cut back and forth like this? Normally, you'll have like maybe like an over-shoulder POV from a character or two characters face each other. They'd be actually in the same shot together if they're talking to each other. No, this woman is, and like the thing is like. She comes in at the very like tail end of the movie, and her reasoning for being there and for helping is just so like you could have helped by like not doing any of that shit that you did. And like it was like
100%.
And I don't want to be like here's the thing. I think, and this might sound, but hear me out, that Hollywood should stop trying to cater to Chinese audiences. And not because we don't need, Asian actors or people of color in the movie. It's because they do it in such a ham-fisted, such a half-assed way that I don't understand. Like, you are not actually catering to them at all. You're just like, oh, we'll just put a Chinese person in there and make this in Shanghai, and you know, it's like the bare minimum of like that's what you guys like, right? And it's like you don't even like care to actually put any like actual content that would be good for Asian audiences in China. Like,
well, I'm getting my tiki torch ready for your comments. Since about to get canceled, we might as well go full on in.
No, like I'm saying, like you're being racist by not like actually doing any understanding of the Asian market. Like the reason that Hollywood movies fail in the Asian market, even though it's the largest market next by far, is because you are not doing the work necessary to make it a movie that they would like to go and watch. And and this movie is like, y'all didn't even put the fucking half the effort in it. Like at least in fucking Transformers, you know, Dark Side of the Moon, they were like, oh, we'll just make the whole last half in Hong Kong, and they'll like that for no goddamn reason. But this movie, it's just like so many, just like it's just like the bare minimum action affairs. Like, let's just go on to the next scene. Who cares how they got there? Who cares how anybody, you know, how anything's happening? We're just going to the next scene. It's gonna be action in that scene. Let's just move on. Does any of this fucking make sense? No, but who cares? It's just an action movie, and it's like, is this what you really want to put out? Like, especially if you got like these great actresses, you know, Jessica Chastain, you got freaking Lupita Nyong'o, whose name, like, you know, has a in there. I can't really do it. You know, you got fucking Penelope Cruz, for crying out loud. You know, and it's like, this is what.
Hold on, real quick, just I want to point this out. Like, I spent majority of this movie being like, man, who was this actress that looks like Penelope Cruz? Because there's no way in hell that Penelope Cruz hasn't aged in like 20 years.
40 years. Yeah.
Like, the whole movie, I'm like, why does this woman look so much like Penelope Cruz, like a young Penelope Cruz? And at the end, I was like, oh shit, that was Penelope Cruz. Like, and the people are like, oh, you're an idiot. Just no, when you see her, she doesn't look like she's aged in 20 years, man. Like, but anyway, that's still, just, yeah.
She still looks like she's always looked like. But
yeah,
honestly, it's just like, what is this movie? Who's this movie for? Like, it's not for women, because like nothing in here. I mean, I'm not a woman. I can't tell you what women like or whatever. But this ain't it. I can tell you that. This ain't it. It's definitely not for dudes, because this shit ain't it. Because this ain't it. It's just not. Like, why'd y'all make this movie? And then the title is like barely a thing. Like, it's not even like, it doesn't connect to the movie until the very end. And it's like, it's so on the nose and so like insufferably stupid. It's like, y'all stop. Just stop.
And it still doesn't connect. It's a statement.
It still doesn't connect.
It's not even, it is. Oh my God. Yes.
It seems like the title is like someone found this cool fact and they're like, oh, that's a cool fact. And then like, oh, we should make a movie about it. But it's like, oh no, we already have this movie written. Just make it work for this movie.
Yep.
And we'll title that, and then we'll just tack something on the end where it's like about that. And it's like, there was a much better movie there. Like,
yes.
It's no. Don't go watch this movie. That's it.
Okay. Oh my God. I'm chomping at the bits now because I think hit on most of the stuff I'm going to hit on, but you know, I gotta add my twang on it. All right. Let's go ahead.
I love your puns.
Getting the 355, please get a 45 and just blow my brains out, because this movie was terrible. Look, I love women. Like, I'm watching Lupita, watching Penelope and Jessica. Like, most of the time in any situation, that's going to make my day, just because they're fine women that have great acting chops, and I am here for it. But as a grown ass loving woman man, it's so much I fucking hate about this movie that just makes this movie so hard to cheer for anybody in this movie, because it sucks so bad. Going off what Jason said, I love that it's an all-woman lead-led film. I don't like we keep getting these lackluster women-led films, not because the women don't have the ability to make great films. It just seems like, I don't know if it's a Hollywood thing or if it's just a game they're playing, that they just go, oh, it's all women. That should get the women in the movie theater, so we don't have to really worry about anything else about it being good. because we obviously see that doesn't work. And you keep doing this, and then it keeps making this stigma that woman-led films can't do good at the box office because you keep giving us this shit. You keep giving us this straight, utter trash. There's no such thing as a 355. Let me just tell you that. Spoiler alert. It's no team. Like, this movie was marketed like these group of spies get together when it's big international events to go and squash it. No. This movie was a thing happens. They're chasing it. Two different agencies are chasing it, and they have to be like, oh, I guess we'll fucking work together then because we keep fucking each other over and stopping the same thing we're trying to stop. And then they bring in a psychiatrist who has no field experience at all, and they're like, oh yeah, because you gotta protect your family. Yeah, we gotta protect your family from the bad guys. You're in this movie too. But let's just roll with it. Again, I want to repeat this. There is no such thing as a 355 in this movie. This is no different than a bunch of chicks or a bunch of military professionals got together and was like, we got to stop a big bad. Naturally, it's all the conspiracy stuff and blah, 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 blah. Like, okay. Yeah, F that. So let's just go into the things that let's get some of the good stuff out of here before I start hating on it, all right? I enjoyed The Beautiful Women. I enjoyed some things when they did something that were woman specific. I enjoyed things like it was a scene where Lupita was coming down from the rafters. She threw her heels down and then dropped down. Like, that's a woman specific thing because no woman's going to jump straight down on heels from a high level. No woman's probably jumping off anything with heels on, but that is something that a touch that I know somebody that was a woman said, hey, wouldn't it make more sense if you do this than doing that? I respected that because I could see those things. I mean, some thought was put into this. I would like the fact that all through the movie, when men tried to manipulate the women, it really didn't work. Because most people, stereotypical, would say women are the master manipulators. I'm not saying that's true or false, but for the stigma of what the movie is, it works very well. After that, that's it. That's all I got for this movie for what I like. Let's jump into the trash bin, because I know that's what y'all really come here to hear me say, is what I fucking hate. So we're going to go ahead and just run this down. Look, if you're going to put Winter Soldier in the movie, we know what the game is. I'm not going to say, well, it's either two things it's going to be. Early exit or double back. I ain't going to say which one it is, but don't put the Winter Soldier in the movie if you're going to have it just be this stereotypical role. Let's go and jump into this one. The camera decisions. The camera decisions are the most atrocious things I've ever seen in cinema movie making history. And y'all go, Jason, you say that like every week about a bad movie, so what makes this any different? No, this may be it, guys. This may be the apocalypse of camera work. It's a point in scene in this movie where it is Jessica Chastain, Lupita, and her boyfriend talking, and they literally pull a Michael Bay wraparound 4 times. I almost got to the point I almost threw up because I got theater sick. Is that even a thing? Well, it's a thing today. I got theater sick and almost threw up. It was no reason for this wraparound Michael Bay style. It was no action scene. It was no even intriguing dialogue. They were just talking, and they decided to do the 360 camera thing around them as if this was something special. Another thing that irritated me, the most irritating thing is that you cast these amazing actors in this movie. I mean, I know we haven't talked much about Diane Kruger, but she's in it. She can hold her on as the German assassin. We talk about Lupita. We're talking about Jessica. We're talking about Penelope. It was parts of this movie where, let's say, Lupita was explaining something as the tech genius. And for no apparent reason, they would just cut to Penelope Cruz listening to her. You can hear Lupita's voice talking about the stuff, but they just cut to Penelope listening, and then it will cut back to Lupita, still talking, and then it will cut to Diane Kruger listening. What are you trying to show us that they're intensely listening to her? What the fuck are you doing? Like, why are we seeing people who aren't talking and they're not even emoting? It'd be different if it was like, oh, this subtle facial expression they're making, we want you to see because maybe it's a callback to later in the movie. No, they're just doing it because. As if it's like, hey guys, Lupita's talking, but we want you to know that everybody's listening intently. Yeah, because we're a team now. Like,
more cuts
no
equals
reason.
More amazing action. If you do more cuts, it's more fun. You do more cuts.
Literally, and look, unless your name is Mike Larry or Marcus Burnett from Bad Boys, I don't need no more 360 wraparounds. No more. Stop it. Michael Bay did it, and it had a great effect. It's the thing that's used up. Let's go to the other part, the action scene. These action scenes in here, you know what? Liam Neeson sat with somewhere and be like, hey, we need to sue them for copyright action scene infringement because all these action scenes was taken-esque. And not taken in like the good part one. No, I'm talking about all the rest of them where it was like, we know Liam Neeson can't do that shit. Yeah, he can't do that shit. So we're gonna cut around all the things he can do. So I'm gonna throw a punch, and then I'm gonna cut, and then I'm gonna flip the camera around and see the punch coming. But then I'm gonna cut, and then I'm gonna flip it over the shoulder, and then that person's gonna like all the fight scenes are shot that way. So it leads me to say that either the women they had doing these roles did not want to do the physicality, or they could not let them do the physicality because of insurance reasons, or the directors were like, hey, we can't make these fights look very natural by letting the camera be there. We got to work around it. Regardless what the answer is, the answer was not what we saw on the movie, the theater, because it fucking sucked. All right. I got all that out the way. And I feel better. I feel like I've exorcised the demons. I know you're going to ask me. Oh, no. I get the last thing. Sorry. It was one more thing. One more thing I just fucking forgot. And now I remember it. And this movie, and I'm going to channel my Stephen A. Smith here, had the mitigated gall to actually try to set their asses up for a fucking sequel.
For a sequel.
Are you effing kidding me? You watched this movie and was like, yeah, we need to put some at the end just in case people want to come back and see this. I will tell you this. I will mark my words. If they make a sequel to this movie, we know that Hollywood and movie making's dead. Because there's no way whatever they saw in this spurred anybody to think to themselves, man, we want to see the continued adventures of these people. Jesus Christ. And I had high hopes for this movie, just so you know. You can ask Jason. I was like, I'm excited about 355. Like, you put these kind of actresses and actors in this movie, I was hyped for it. And what I got was probably, it may be the biggest letdown of 2022, maybe for the rest of this year for me. I don't feel like anything that we could watch here is a bigger letdown than what I saw in this movie. Like,
I hope nothing is as big as letdown as this fucking movie is.
I'm over it. I can't do it. So let's go on and jump into the rating system. Jason, what do you got on this this movie itself?
Out of 5.
Okay. So out of 5, I wonder how I'm gonna put that blurb in the edit, but I'll figure it out.
Let's give it a 2. Let's give it a 2.
Okay. Wow. Okay. 2, or actually 2. Number 2.
Number 2.
Okay.
Number 2.
That means you're taking a dump on it as well. Okay. I am giving it a 0.5 because I do like girls, and the girls are hot in this. That's the only reason I'm giving it a 0.5. If this was a man's movie where men were doing this shit, it would be a complete utter 0. And this is the kind of movie that I would buy the DVD so I could record myself kicking it up the street. So I was, right. What Jay-Z say? I sold drugs so you ain't had to go through that. I watch this movie, guys, for y'all don't have to go through that. Because this was terrible. And if you ever have to watch this movie, if it comes on TNT or TBS, cancel your subscription to that channel until it gets off the screen. Because that's how bad this movie is.
If you're a PG-13 movie and you can't entertain a 13-year-old, you need to stop. You just need to stop making movies. All right?
Yeah, like 100%.
Like, they're literally the easiest to do. You got a fart joke in there anywhere, they'll be fucking happy. No, this my kid was so fucking bored in this shit. I was fucking bored. This shit was boring. It was boring. Let's get it. It was not exciting. It was not fun. It was just bad. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Blah. It's mayonnaise on white toast. Not even on white bread. Mayonnaise on white bread.
Well,